This is the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. And now, let's check in and see if CHARLEY-K1GZL is on frequency to bring us up to date on the latest 40-meter band propagation. Charlie's QTH is up in northern New Hampshire, near the Canadian border. Charlie, got a copy?
Yes, Jim, a beautiful copy. You're peaking 10 over 9 direct on a sunny day, a beautiful day. The warmest we've had all season. It's up to 77 degrees, and the normal high right now is about 60, 61, and it's awfully dry. We haven't had any rain here for over a week, and the leaves are not out on the trees yet, except the smaller saplings. We have tiny leaves, and on some of the bushes. So we're getting there slowly. And you asked about 40 meters. Yeah, Ian was coming in VK3M0 from northwest of Melbourne, Australia this morning at 25 to 30 over 9, and I think I have him here. Okay, and I think about...
Okay, I wasn't sure. Anyway, this is Victor Kilo 3 Mike Oscar near Melbourne in southeast Australia. Yes, you've had a hot day this hour.
Okay, there you are. So, back to you, Jim. KC9VKV, K1GZL.
Roger, Charlie. Well, those transmissions out of Australia keep getting stronger and stronger pretty soon. I'd be watching out for my antenna to be melted by those signals, Roger.
Well, Ian does have quite an antenna down there. He's got 3/4 of a mile of wire in it, and what it is two rhombics, one on top of the other, one at 70 feet and the other at 130 feet, and it's pointed across central Pennsylvania and New York City, right toward New York, and he says I'm just only 8 degrees north of his lobe, so of course he just pounds right on in. And Captain Mike, KX4 Whiskey Charlie, who I normally work when he's aeronautical mobile, is off for his 2-week between flights, and I think it'll be about the 3rd of June before he gets airborne, flying from Philadelphia to Sacramento and back to Philadelphia. Jim, go ahead.
Oh, Roger that. Well, gosh, I wish him luck on the current situation with the airline industry. Of course, now, on the other side of the coin, I think you said that he is flying cargo, so I think he may have job security, Roger?
Job security, Roger.
Oh, yeah, he's been flying for 31 years. He's 55, and he started flying when he was 24 years of age. Go ahead.
Oh, Roger that. Well, gosh, that's just amazing, that correspondence by radio from a jet there flying. What's his normal cruise speed?
It does vary a bit depending on the load. Depending on the load he has, of course, he's a cargo carrier. They cruise generally at about 520 knots, 510 knots, or just under about 580 miles per hour, nearly 600. But if he gets a good tailwind, that gives him a little more of a boost. However, this whole winter, or the whole cold season, he has been running. There's been a west to east flow almost all winter long, west to east flow, and that has kept the storms off the coast. But we've been getting backlash up here and upsloping, which gives us all our snow. But when he flies west, it takes him, probably an hour longer to get to Sacramento than it does when he flies east. In fact, over a week ago, he was flying from Philadelphia to Sacramento, and he had to take a southern route. They had so much rain in the Chicago and Michigan and all through there, that they had soar southward on its last flight was an altitude of 39,000 feet, and his load was much lighter, so he was able to get up there higher. I think that plane has a ceiling of 43,000 feet, 43,000, but generally he run lower than 39,000 when he has a heavier load, Jim. K1GZL.
Roger. Well, my nosebleeds starts nosebleed at about, I think about 250 feet or so. So those kind of altitudes, I can only imagine. I can't really, fathom that. Actually, that's too much altitude. But I would like to have an antenna that tall, and he is being able to do that. So I imagine that does help his Qso-Vlog, well, his Qso range considerably at 30,000 feet or 35,000 feet or whatever it is. Charlie, I want to pick your brain for just a minute. Now, I know you've been an amateur radio operator for a long time, and I'm just curious about what your response might have been the first time you ran across a transistor. Now, I know when you started your amateur radio career, everything was tubes, and I was just curious what your thoughts were the first time you ran across a transistor.
Oh, well, that's when everything started to explode. It was quite amazing, Jim. It was absolutely amazing, the technology that has developed. It's happened so fast, I'm beginning to wonder what else is going on. It's just incredible when you look back at what has happened, especially in our lifetime, or even before, say back 100 years. It's mind-boggling, like somebody threw a switch. By the way, your signal is just beautiful in here, direct from southern Indiana.
Charlie, I want to pick your brain for just a minute. Now, I know you've been an amateur radio operator for a long time, and I'm just curious about what your response might have been the first time you ran across a transistor.
Okay, Jim, go ahead.
Roger, Charlie. Well, to me, I was just a young whippersnapper, so, I became aware of transistors, but it wasn't anything that I was actually working on at the time, so I managed to just, grow into transistors, but you already had your career in amateur radio well underway, and so, the development of the transistor came at a time when you were, like I say, already well into your career. So what was the first radio that or item that you had that was transistorized?
Oh boy, you got me on that one, Jim. I can't remember offhand. I remember back in the earlier days, I had a Hammerlin Super Pro receiver, and then eventually a Collins 32 V2 as an exciter. And my dad had built way back. My dad had built an amplifier with a pair of 866 rectifiers. They were a nice blue color when they were on. The time has flown by to the point I'm still trying to catch up. Go ahead.
Roger. Well, the evolution of radio, or the evolution, let me say, of electronics, we all stand on other people's shoulders. We have, each generation manages to build on the experiments and evolution of the people in front of us, and so it's just amazing how far we have come, to the point that, probably modern electronics, it's just impossible to actually work on, because all you have is a printed circuit board kind of thing with little bumps along the way, and unless you've got a cheat sheet, you have no idea what those little bumps are, Roger.
what those little bumps are, Roger.
Oh, yeah. You're absolutely right. I'm not that much of a technician. I'm more of an antenna man, Jim. But it's fascinating. What's it going to be like 50 years from now? Let us hope we're all alive in 50 years. Let's hope we don't have any bugs or diseases that cause a collapse of the economy. Let's hope not. I hope everything straightens out on COVID-19. Okay, Jim, I know there are a lot of people trying to work you there. That station you were talking to in Alabama, I could barely hear him, but that's a long haul. That's a long haul this time of day from northern New Hampshire all the way down there. So I'll sign with you, Jim, and hopefully catch you next week. It's always a pleasure, and you sound great. I think you would sound the same in person as you do over the air. KC9VKV, K1GZL, 73, Jim, a pleasure.
Roger, Charlie 3 is up that way, sir. You have a great afternoon and beautiful weekend coming up. Sound beautiful down here. All right, this is the KC9VKV Friday Afternoon Qso-Vlog Network. My name is Jim, and I'm better known in some circles as Dr. VKV. And we are recording now live till 5, so if you have a radio you want to check out, give us a shout. We'll post this recording up on YouTube in the next couple of days. So when you go to YouTube, just do a call letter search for KC9VKV, and that will take you to our Qso-Vlog page. And right now, you'll be looking for one Qso-Vlog entitled My Group Air Check 52220. My Group Air Check 52220. This is KC9VKV listening.